What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Light Source Engraving. I'm your host, Patrick, as usual. If you're a first-time viewer, thank you so much for stopping by. And for all you returning viewers, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. So today, let's make some keychains. I have a couple pieces of leather from Temu. Temu. Pick however you want to say it. It doesn't really matter. But here are two pieces of leather, and this is called Crazy Horse leather. It is the oil soaked type leather, so that whenever you scratch it, it gets, these cool marks on it, and then you can kind of buff them out, but it looks nice and weathered and worn. And I have done some testing. It smells like leather, it engraves like leather. I think this is actually real leather, definitely not pleather. So what we're going to do is make some keychains. And the keychains, I made a couple samples. These aren't perfect. Will look like this. There's just a couple little keychains, and I'm going to show you how to use either a Chicago screw or a rivet to fasten these together. First, let's jump into LightBurn. I'm going to show you the template that I use to cut out these keychains and the little graphic that I engraved on them, and then I'm going to share my settings with you so you can have settings. This is a 30-watt diode that I'm using to engrave these and cut them, and that's it. So let's just jump right into LightBurn real quick, run through that, and then I'll show you the fun stuff. Alright, so what I did is I just looked at some pictures of some leather keychains online and kind of estimated how long they were, and then just kind of guessed where to fold the keychain. So what we'll do is, this is the back side of the keychain here, this is the front side, and then I've put a template in a toolpath layer, so keep your engraving within this box. And then these two, between these two holes, it folds over here for your split ring. So that's where you put your split ring, is right here in this area, and then the actual keychain folds in this area, and then we will either put a rivet or a screw through all three holes to hold it together. And with the 30-watt laser, I'm running a cut speed of 600, power of 100. I think I can run it faster, but if you have a 20-watt, 600 should be good. But just run a material test and you can figure out your settings. But again, this is Temu Leather, and it is called Crazy Horse leather. I will share the specs in just a moment. And then what I found for the engraving speed, I'm running a speed of 4,000, power of 32.5 at a 0.068 line distance, and it's giving me a pretty good engrave. And this smells like leather when it engraves, and it looks like leather when it engraves, so I think it is real leather. So here's the first piece that we're going to run, and then I'll just move it up here to the top, and then we'll run the second piece, one on each of the swatches of leather, and then we can assemble them. So let's just go ahead and run this job real quick. We'll do the two straps of leather and then assemble them. Okay, we do have our 2 straps of leather complete, so they are ready for assembly. They look good. They're a little damp. I just wiped them off real quick. But let me show you what I have. The first thing I ordered from Temu, besides the leather swatches, was this kit. And then it has rivets and rivet pliers and 3 different colors for the rivets. So we can just pick a color and assemble the rivets accordingly. So the silver rivets go with the silver backers, go with the silver tops or the black tops. Let's use black today. So basically, these pliers have a concave side for the cap of the rivet, and it rests in here. Then they have this side with a hole in it for the base of the rivet, so it goes in that side. Then you just squeeze together, and then that sets the rivet. So here's a little rivet kit, and I'll put a link in the description. And it also comes with this rivet setter. It's metal, the rivet setter bar if you need to do any additional hammering to set your rivet. The next I have an assortment of Chicago screws. And these seem to be the perfect size for this leather, and it turns out that they are. So here we have silver, black, and gold. All we have to do is just pick whichever one we want to go with today. See, we're already doing black. Let's do silver. So there's the silver female thread. Then we'll just get a silver male thread. If I can find one. I think they're buried all the way in the bottom. Here comes one. Yep, they were all buried in the bottom. So there's the silver male thread. Put these all back in the bag. And then we are just about ready for assembly. Now, if you're going to use the rivets, you're going to have to use a skiving knife on your leather or you can sand it or any other procedure that you have. But we're going to have to thin this out around the holes from the back side in order to get the rivet to fit. Otherwise, it'll be too thick. So we can use a skiving knife, which I have here. Some people will sand them to get it down to size. I'm just going to scrape it off with the knife, and then we can assemble the rivet. And for the Chicago screws, we actually do not need to thin this out. They are long enough, and then we can screw them in and it clamps down really nice. So we do not have to use the skiving knife on the one we're putting the Chicago screw in. And pardon my voice, I'm a little hoarse today. Not sure why. But let's just pick which one we're going to go with the black rivet. I wish I had some black split rings. I can't find them, but I did have some. So we'll just use these silver ones for now. And let's just go ahead and start processing this bottom one. This thing should be fairly sharp. I did sharpen it recently. We want to get that down to at least about half the thickness that it was originally. As you can see, this is cutting just like leather. So we're getting there, just a little bit further. All right, now I have 2 more to do. I'm just going to fast forward through those. I think we've got this thin enough so we can add our split ring here before we fold it. Then I like having the long piece on top. So now all we have to do is put the base of our rivet through the back, all these holes. And if we got it thin enough, it should pop out the other side, which it is. Then we can place the cap on the top. If it is thin enough, it will kind of lock in place. So there we have it locked in place. Then we want the cap of our rivet in the cap side of the pliers, base of the rivet in the base side. So hopefully you can see that. Then we just squeeze and get that rivet set. There we have our rivet set and our keychain is assembled. So there's keychain number 1. And then this does make a mess, and it's a lot of effort to use the skiving knife. And that is why I went with Chicago screws as the secondary option, which actually will be the primary option. So the Chicago screws are 4mm in diameter, and these holes I cut out are 3mm, but the leather does stretch. So once you get it stretched, it'll pop right through. Just like that. Just pop it through the other 2 holes. So let's redo this. Flat end on the outside. Let's pop it through your 2 pieces here. And the dogs are barking. I bet my wife is home. There. Now let's pop it through again. Then we can proceed to screw those together. Or it's easy enough just to put the screw through the 1 piece and then the back through the other 2 pieces and screw together. Just screw it until it's tight, and it will lock these together real well. And there we have keychain number 2. A lot less effort with the Chicago screws. And here's the sheet that came with the leather. It says about Crazy Horse Leather, what you have to know. And it's just going to tell you that it's an oil-soaked leather and that it will scratch and wear differently than other leathers. and after it's been in the package, you'll see different look for it after it's been in the package for a year, and then you'll see that it is also real leather, so you'll have creases, skin spots, tendons or blood vessels or wrinkles in this piece of real leather. So that is that. And that's all I have for you today, folks. Just to recap, Chicago screws in the multi-pack came from Temu. The rivet set with the pliers came from Temu. And then we have these leather sheets, the two of them that came from Temu. Let me show you a little bit of a close-up. Then I'll show you the back as well. But this stuff feels nice. I like it. It's nice and soft and pliable. It's oil soaked or crazy horse leather. I'm not a leather expert, so I didn't dress the edges on these keychains. I like the rough look. I think they look just fine for what they are. They're going to be cheap little keychains. Thank you to my patrons for supporting me and allowing me to buy these goodies to make these projects to show you all what to do. At least give you some ideas of how to make it. And as far as the skiving knife, I got this one off of Amazon. We've had it for a little while. I just resharpen it every once in a while, and that's it. But I would recommend Chicago screws. It's a lot less a lot less elbow grease is required. Let's put it that way. Links will be in the description for the stuff I got from Temu. I'll put an Amazon link for there's a stink bug that flew by, an Amazon link for a skiving knife if you're interested in that, and maybe I'll try to find some decent looking Amazon rivets and Chicago screws. I'm sure they have some. And as far as my template, there will be a link in the description. All you have to do is head to my website, download it. You don't need to make an account. There is an email sign up on the website, or if you make an account, that'll log your email. Then I can send you updates about other stuff that's going on around here, if you don't mind. And that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. And most importantly, have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, for those of you that stuck around, you're going to get some bonus content. You're also going to get the templates for these rectangle keychains that have a slot cut out for some sort of strap. And what I did was got some leatherette strapping from Temu. Then all we need to do is use a pair of scissors, cut it to length. Then I have my leather hole punch. This is just a Harbor Freight model. And we're just going to fold that over like this. And then we can punch a hole straight through all three. Make sure it's centered. At that point, we do have a hole through all three layers. Then we can wrap one side around this. Wrap the other side around our split ring. And then you can put a rivet in between and you have yourself a nice little homemade keychain. course, if you are going to go this route, you would want to stain or finish your wood products before assembling your keychain. These are hot off the laser, and this is for demo purposes, so I'm not worried about it. Alright, so that's what we're going to be. Looks good. We just need our rivet pliers. And I accidentally had it upside down, but that's okay. This is just for demo. And that's how easy it is to make your own homemade keychain. A little bit of gun stock stain on this will look nice.